Claudius. He became emperor because Caligula died, and once he became emperor, he didn't have a very good relationship with the Senate. He was actually appointed by army's men, not the Senate, and the Senate also supported a rebellion in the Balkans in 42 AD and aided in the many attempts on his life. So that didn't really show a good relationship. This is a picture of Caligula. And then also his uncle Tiberius was the second emperor of Rome. And then before that, obviously, was Augustus. This is a picture of the Senate. He was from Gaul, which is now France, and he is the brother of Germanicus, who's a war hero. He reigned from January 24th, 41 AD to October 13th, 54 AD. He was fairly successful, but the women in his life caused his downfall. He became very popular because of his hard work ethics when he would wake up at midnight to begin his work, and this helped him improve Rome's judicial system, the conditions of slaves, citizenship, and women's privileges. But his most famous conquest was that of Britain, where he succeeded where Caesar had failed, and he created client kingdoms, and this was a very important addition to Augustus' reign. So this is a picture of Messalina, who he loved very much, but she was very promiscuous and slept with the servants, which he usually would turn a blind eye to until she became lovers with a nobleman, Gaius Silius, who some believed had a plot to take over. So he ended up killing Silius, and then Messalina dies soon after, who, when he finds out, he's very happy and joyful, and I think he makes a toast to it. And then after that, he marries his niece, Agrippina, and she's worse than Messalina. She asked to bring back Seneca from exile so that he could tutor her own son, Nero, who she wanted to become emperor. And she asked him to disinherit his own son, Britannicus, who would have been a next line for the throne, so that Nero could be the new heir. So now the only obstacle between Nero and the throne was Claudius, so she tried to kill him with poisoned mushrooms, but he failed. So she persuaded his doctor to kill him with a poisoned feather while he was recovering, and this worked, so Nero became emperor. He was the first emperor to grant the Praetorians a large bonus payment as a cession, so he helped a lot of people, not only the women and the slaves in the judicial system. And he had some quirky personality traits, like he was disfigured by a serious illness, he had a limp, he had a speech impediment, and so he was very awkward and clumsy. He was considered the black sheep of the family and was the butt of family jokes. Like when he would doze off after dinner, they would put slippers on his hands, so when he woke up, he would rub his eyes with shoes. But he was also a figure of fun because he was very self-deprecating. So we decided to make a Match.com profile, which Lane will show you more about.
Okay, so judging by the fact that Claudius had 4 wives, he was obviously quite the stud. We made this Match.com profile just to put him out there, show you guys some information about him. He was a pretty short guy. His wives normally were taller than him, so we just said that his height was about 5'4". Here we're talking about who he was around age 40. He did not live in Richmond, obviously. We just put our zip code for Maggie Walker because Italy wasn't an option. So he was Christian, Roman Catholic to be exact. He got most of his education from the tutoring he received as a child. He was tutored by Livy and was specifically good at history and oratory. And since he had a speech impediment, people were very surprised that he was, more skilled at oratory than he was at other things. So how about we see the pictures? Okay, so here's his cover photo. It's a statue of him in Italy. I don't know, it's pretty nice. He looks pretty profound. The chicks probably would dig this one. Here's a bust of him that's really nice. Another bust. And then here's a picture of him with short hair and without his, I guess, crown. Here's a larger statue. I don't know. Looks pretty nice. And then here is a drawing of a bust of him. Looks kind of scary. You can't really see his eyeballs. All right, so here's some more information about him. He was Caucasian. He wasn't a smoker. I don't think they smoked back then, but he was a drinker. He liked to have fun, party. He had 4 kids that were actually his kids, and then one child that he adopted, so I guess 5 total. He adopted Nero, who was the son of his niece, who he ended up marrying, which is kind of disgusting, but try to have an open mind about it. He's very passionate about Rome. He was a pretty successful ruler, but the women who he was romantically involved with kind of distracted him and hindered his ability to be the best emperor he could be. He was very popular among the citizens of Italy and also really passionate about his job and his work. He was known to start working just after midnight every day, so he was really like an early riser, very dedicated to what he did. He worked on improving Rome's judicial system, the conditions of slaves, the citizenship, and women's privileges. So, judging by all of those things, we said that he was somewhat conservative. Like, most Roman emperors were very conservative, but since he gave women more rights and improved slaves' conditions, we said that, I don't know, it made him a little more liberal than the other emperors. Um, the things that he's looking for in a woman are like he's looking for a young, pretty, kind of upper class lady. Don't worry about being related to him because his last wife was his niece. So, I don't know, incest is okay in his book. Um, the people in his life who were most influential were Caligula, his predecessor, who was kind of his role model. He looked up to Caligula to like figure out how to be an emperor. He kind of learned most of what he did from Caligula. And then Livy, who was his tutor, kind of helped with his education and his confidence. Many people assumed that he would be stupid because of his disability, but Livy kind of helped him to overcome that stereotype. So, the first thing that many people notice about him is the fact that he does have a disability. Um, his speech impediment, and he kind of spits when he talks. People, I don't know, they don't think that that's really great. They kind of find that disgusting, but I don't know. He overcame a lot of that. His best life skills are sparking romance. He, this Match.com or I guess eHarmony website will probably get a lot of, I don't know, views. He had 4 wives, so he was quite the ladies' man. He was good at making his friends laugh. He was known to be a fun emperor. Everyone liked him. He liked to joke around, I guess, just to cover up the fact that he had disabilities and was kind of insecure about those. He was good at achieving personal goals, like all of the things that he did with the judicial system and the slave conditions and all of those things. It was good. He likes history. That was one of his favorite subjects and what he studied mostly under Livy. So he we said that he liked to listen to classical music because I don't think there was much else back then. Um, his favorite instrument was the harp. Probably played that at parties. He, in his leisure time, he would study the history of Rome, go out with the ladies, spend time with them, and then just have a good time. Be a pretty good husband, have fun with friends, all of that. His friends would have described him as an ambitious person, very energetic, really romantic, and sort of sweet just because, I don't know, he knew what he was doing. So, if he had to pick 3 things that he was most thankful for, it would have been his wives, the 4 wives he's lucky enough to have been married to, but at different times, not at the same time. His 4 children, Claudius, Drusus, Claudia Antonia, Claudia Octavia, and Britannicus. Britannicus he ended up disowning under orders of his niece slash wife, but every parent's grateful for their children, so let's just say that. And the son who he adopted, Nero, he was very proud of and was also his successor. So he wishes more people would notice that he is a strong guy that many people liked. He's pretty insecure about his disability, and he was the butt of jokes by his family, and so he wishes people would look through that and see the guy who he really is and not these physical things that don't define him. He was pretty self-deprecating. He was hardworking. He woke up super early to begin his job. He is a good listener. He adopts Agrippina's son when she asks him to, and also disowns his own son when she asks him to. So he'll do what you say. He conquered Britain, which is awesome. He was the first emperor to grant praetorians a large bonus payment. So he's, I don't know, very caring. He's fun, he's interesting, and he's intelligent. More intelligent than many people would think. And he's also rich, so if you are a gold digger, this is the guy for you. He's from an important family, the brother of a war hero, Germanicus, and he's the nephew of Tiberius. So he's a kind of a hot shot. So let's go back. So if you want one last look at this hottie before we say goodbye, there's Claudius for you.